Yo, and welcome to the EPM show. I'm Blake Bozarth, and this is all things enterprise performance management, where we're doing our best to give you an unfair career advantage. And we have another incredible guest for the show today, Jonathan Balkin. He founded Lionpoint Group, and they're an Anaplan Gold partner. He founded it in 2014. It's now a 250-person consultancy. He has an incredible vantage point for this space. He's incredibly successful, 41 years old, cool guy. You're going to enjoy. He's got a great story in the very beginning about his twin boys in a viral video that you have to hear. But he's also going to talk about what's going on in the industry and specifically what are some ways that you can grow your career in EPM. He's partial to consulting. He's going to share his 2 reasons why he prefers it over being in-house. We see both sides of this and we get both sides of this, but he makes some great points. And he's going to talk about why you need to be able to sell, whether you're a sales rep or not. If you're a model builder and you want to become a highly advanced solution architect, or you need to be able to sell, what does that look like? How do you do that well? He's going to talk about how expertise in integration, specifically with some of these data tech platforms that are emerging these days, Databricks, Snowflake, Data Haiku, Workiva. The more you know how to work with integrations, the more valuable you're going to be to your organization. And then he talks about how you can develop more of a healthy culture in consulting. And he's done that with Lionpoint, and it's pretty impressive. I think you're going to enjoy this episode, guys. I'm going to ask you something. If you get value from this, be a river, not a reservoir. Who could you share this with that is also in the space that you think would benefit from it as well? Help other people grow too. And without further ado, let's jump into the show. This is all things enterprise performance management, and we're doing our best to give you an unfair career advantage. I'm Blake Bozarth, and joined with my co-host, Chad Pike. What's happening? Traded out the Sierra Nevada hat today, I see. Looking good.
I did, yeah. It's matching your hat, but it's not the same brand.
I know, it's not quite the same. Alike, but similar. We have an incredible guest today, Jonathan Balkin. We want to welcome you to the EPM show.
Thank you very much. I think a better welcome would have been if I got a matching hat, or you at least gave me a heads up that this was going to be the uniform of the day.
We can work on that. We need an intro gift. Hey, we're excited for this, man. We're going to hit you with our patented question, and that is, tell us a little bit about you and your career in 60 seconds. We have a little timer, and we'll let you go with it.
Awesome. So I started out my career at Accenture, focused on technology implementations within capital markets. Had a really good stint there, but really wanted to find a more boutique entrepreneurial environment. Ended up connecting with a couple Accenture senior leaders, and they had their own boutique consulting firm. I was employee number 6 there. They grew it to about 30 people. I was focused on mainly consulting within the private equity space. They ended up selling it to a big 4, at which point I took the opportunity to be an independent consultant for a little while, and then linked up with my current business partner, Nick Moore. And we clicked really quickly, started finding some clients and opportunities in the market. And shortly thereafter, we started Lionpoint. So I focus mostly on our North American practice here, and I lead a lot of our marketing, strategy, technology roadmap implementations.
We're going to dig in more to Lionpoint here in a second, but Chad, hit us with another personal question to get to know Jonathan more.
Absolutely. And I have to say, I am very excited for this one based on the conversation that we just had. But Jonathan, what is the most ridiculous thing that your kids have ever done?
So the best part is, like, this question completely came up randomly a few minutes ago, and I thought I was being set up. But so about 5 years ago, when my kids were 2 years old, they sort of created their own viral video. So I have twin boys, and I think a lot of people have seen these videos on the internet, but my kids learned how to climb out of their crib at an early age. Sort of drove my wife and I nuts trying to get them to go to bed at night. And one night at around probably 11 o'clock, they snuck out of their room. They deconstructed their beds, the couch in there. They made this big pillow fort. They're diving into the pillows. My wife and I spent about like 4 or 5 hours getting them to just, go to sleep. And so I took the video, I sped it up, I put circus music behind it, and I put it on Facebook. I've had a bunch of these videos out there in the past, but this particular one, my mom was trying to share with her friends. She's like complaining to me over text message, like none of my friends were able to see it. I'm running around in between meetings, so I was like, screw it. I just made it public. Lo and behold, like a few hours later, it was shared with 10 people, then 50 people. Next thing I know, I wake up in the morning and I've got text messages from Fox News, Good Morning America, the Today Show. Ellen DeGeneres show was calling me, trying to get me to fly out to LA with my kids. It turned out to be a really fun experience for a couple weeks. I loved it. I was ready to come up with like the sequel in phase 2. My wife was like, shut it down. We are not exploiting our children. We're not people sort of trying to make a buck on the internet. So
that is amazing. So you guys y'all ended up on the Today Show, right? I think that's what you said because of this video.
We were on the Today Show. My wife wanted no part of it, but my sister is really good friends with one of the producers there. And so they were like, we'll send a car for you in the morning. We'll get your wife's hair and makeup done. We'll make it a really great experience. Your sister and your nieces can come out. And so we did one just for the experience. It was a great time. The kids were awesome. They were so well behaved. And then we shut down their viral career.
Shut down their YouTuber career.
They're 8 now, but maybe TikTok or something will be their revitalization when they're just keep me out of it.
Hey, it's destiny. That's like every kid. Apparently that's the survey these days. That's every kid's dream. They already nailed it when they're 2 years old. They're YouTube stars. Unbelievable. So you can't script that, but that's absolutely, that's one of the coolest stories we've had so far. Transitioning, man. We're excited to talk about the industry with you today. So Lionpoint, Jonathan, one of the top Anaplan partners. You've worked with hundreds of clients in the EPM space, helping them upgrade their capabilities here. What drew you working in EPM and taking Lionpoint, broadening it in this direction? And then how did you initially get traction in the space?
Yeah, so at Lionpoint, we've been focused on implementing general ledgers within the financial services industry. We've been working with over 100 clients on implementing solutions and then having to rely on Excel for a lot of the planning, forecasting, and complex modeling and calculations. One of our clients down in Australia was looking for a modeling platform. They were a real estate client. We ended up taking them through a system selection. We showed them a lot of the traditional financial services, real estate solutions, and they were like, this is not going to cut it. We need something better. We reached out to Gartner. Gartner came up with a few options for us. We worked with Anaplan and another vendor to go through a proof of concept. They loved it, and that's what really opened up our eye to it. As a firm, we started to lean in a bit, and people were getting excited. We built a bunch of proof of concepts, and we were excited, but we didn't have any clients here. So our first opportunity in North America came with Blackstone. They came to us, and they were looking for a solution. We presented Anaplan, and they saw the magic in it. We took them through a proof of concept, and they leaned in pretty quickly. They found a really good use case within their debt group, then they found one within their fund-to-fund and within their hedge fund solutions group. And then from there, when Blackstone leans in, they really made a good market for it and a really good solution in the industry. And a lot of people followed shortly thereafter. So to date, we have a team of about 80 Anaplanners on our team located across the globe.
Incredible story. Sounds like once y'all saw the power of Anaplan for a couple of clients, you then leaned into it. Can you talk about the benefits of specialization as a firm and becoming an expert in a space, and then also how that might translate to the individual?
First and foremost, I think the reason why Anaplan has taken off so well for us is because we understand the industry, we understand the source systems that they have and the gaps that those systems have. And then also, how do we take a solution like Anaplan and apply it to their business? I think the biggest thing is how do you actually make technology scale an organization? How do you find use cases that are going to resonate with the business users and help them realize that this is going to actually save time and actually help add capabilities to the organization? And so, for our team and for us, there'll always be new technologies and various solutions that are in market, but we pride ourselves on having an expertise in the financial services space. And so, whether it's Anaplan or Kiva or, Anaplan 2.0, we're always going to be on the forefront on what our clients and our industry needs. And our team members are building up their capabilities on the industry and the technologies that are going to support them. If something comes next after Anaplan, they will be well positioned to take their industry expertise, their know-how, and be able to apply it to a new technology.
What trends, Jonathan, have you recognized since you guys got into this space a few years ago? And then where do you feel like the industry's headed?
I think a lot of our clients overall have been focused on implementing their core solutions. So you've got Salesforce, you've got Workday, you've got other solutions in our space that are very niche, and integrations were not a big piece. And so now data, Snowflake, Databricks, integrations, and automation is becoming much more popular. But within the industry, the past 10, 12 years have been pretty stagnant when you think about macroeconomic or just things going on in the world. It's been sort of a bull market growing since 2010-ish. And so all of a sudden, over the past 3+ years, you've got all these different things that are coming up in the market, whether it's COVID, certain industries getting affected, now it's inflation, now it's also interest rates. Things that really didn't come up too much over the years are now all of a sudden really important. And for our clients, they're investing in mortgages or they're real estate owners with a lot of debt on their portfolios. They have rent, and rent now is changing a lot. And so our clients are just needing to do a lot of forecasting and planning based on the macroeconomic environment and how that's going to impact their portfolio. So the trends are really firms being able to do this more efficiently and more real time. It used to be once a quarter or twice a year. Now it's once a month or more frequently than that. Our client base also is very investor centric. So there are a lot of investors that need to know the answers to these questions. Where is our exposure? Where are the opportunities that we want to invest? Where is the risk in our portfolio that we need to be able to hedge ourselves on or be able to think about how to run our organization more effectively and be able to understand what decisions we need to make? And so, when you have a portfolio of assets, multi-geography, presence, it's really hard to do that at scale and be able to have control over your investment portfolio in your book.
I love that you just called out something that we've kind of seen too about for companies, and you're seeing it with your clients, that when you have all these different market forces at play, like we're seeing right now, the need for that connected and continuous planning becomes all the more important, and they're willing to invest more money into it because it's critical. Can you maybe talk to the individual for a second, how they, someone who's in the space as a professional, as a consultant, or at a customer, can continue to sharpen their skills as the technology changes and these additional integrations are coming into play, like Workvia, Databricks, Snowflake, all that stuff?
You could be a change agent in the organization. That's how people grow their career path and take a more leadership managerial role in the organization. And certainly Anaplan has been it's been an amazing opportunity for our team members. They take their expertise in modeling or cash flow forecasting or asset management, and now they're able to latch onto a technology that's been growing exponentially in the market and make themselves much more high demand. I think back in the day, people used to say, get an MBA or get a master's degree. Now it's these technology certifications and expertise, or how to apply the technology in market, which is really creating this demand for talent. And on another note, our clients need to create a better experience for their employees. I think employees are getting frustrated and annoyed on having to do manual cut and reconciliation. So for our clients, being able to provide a better experience on the day-to-day job is critical. Giving people the tools and the technology to be able to spend more of their time analyzing the data and coming up with value-add insights on how to make decisions is a much more valuable use of time than having them spend money or spend hours reconciling and copying and pasting these big Excel spreadsheets that are just redundant.
I know you're getting some applause right now for anybody hearing that one. So talking a little bit more, Jonathan, about the talent scene in the EPM space, and what do you forecast going forward there? And for somebody who, again, is in the space, as Chad was saying, and they're looking to make sure that they have not only some stability, but they have some long run high growth potential, what advice would you have for them?
Yeah, so I think there's multiple career paths people can go down. I think it's one path. It's not the easy path, but there's a path for people to really build up their technical capabilities. Become a really awesome master Anaplanner, solution architect, whether it's with Anaplan or something else. I think what really unlocks the value and the potential for a person, and more so even the technology, are those soft skills. How do I tell stories about what you can do with the technology? Or how can I think about how to sell it internally to people that are the naysayers and antagonists? And when I say sell, it doesn't matter if you're an internal Anaplan COE or your Anaplan or you're a consultant. Everyone needs to be able to sell something to be able to move the agenda forward. There's always going to be different personalities that you have to negotiate around and navigate around in an organization and play the quote unquote politics game. And so those soft skills, how to sell it, how to design a solution, how to deal with negativity are all key skills that people need to learn to be able to like maximize their potential and actually maximize the solution's potential for themselves. So, something within Lionpoint that we focus a lot on is really helping provide training for those core soft skills as well as the technical skills to make a really well-rounded individual.
I'm hearing a couple things there that I think are great takeaways for our audience. And one is like be a technical expert, but consider being a little bit more tech agnostic as well. So maybe you're not married to just a particular platform, but you're thinking more holistically about data and how things can integrate and fit together, because that's going to be massive, more and more important going forward. But also the soft skills. And that's something that we're very passionate about too. What we see is the technical is almost table stakes, but when you can bring that strong technical ability and system knowledge, but you can also pair that up with, hey, I can actually influence, I can communicate well, I have a high or at least a moderately high EQ. That's really what sets people apart going forward. I want to transition, Jonathan, and asking you about the culture element of Lionpoint. The stereotype that we hear a lot of times is consulting is you kind of have to sacrifice when it comes to culture, and you need to find the right in-house customer to land in if you really want to value that in the long run. How do you guys handle culture and think about culture at Lionpoint?
Yeah, so I might be a little bit biased here because I'm a career consultant. For the past 20 years, I've always been in the consulting space, but obviously I love it, so I've stuck around. First and foremost, I think it is a little bit different. In our role, we are on the revenue side of the business. So we're the profit center, and a lot of our clients or other Anaplan individuals that are at the clients are on the cost side or like the back office side, which it's just different when people think about budgets and resources and headcount. There's a different perspective there. And that sort of drives culture and the way that people are sometimes managed internally within those organizations. Within Lionpoint, before the pandemic, we had been very focused on hiring people in our core locations, which was New York, Denver, San Francisco, and London. And it was quite easy to build up our culture because we had a really great energy in the office. We had a really great team. We worked hard, but then we also did a lot of team building events. We did happy hours. We did scavenger hunts around the city. And it was sort of a natural, organic way to build up the team and culture. And within our projects, projects are a fun thing to work on because you have a very defined, you come into a client, you kick off, you're all here to try to solve a problem, you work on the solution, you deliver it, there's a success, there's a really sort of mental team experience when you work through something and you come through it on a successful opportunity. There's a culture around a project as well in its own little microcosm. As the pandemic has hit, we have taken less priority on where people are located and really tried to hire the best talent for the organization. And I think our culture slipped away a little bit for a couple of years where people were not traveling, people did not know each other personally. They were not building that trust with one another because they hadn't been with each other in person. Some people are reluctant to turn on their camera, not to say that is a magical team building thing, but it does sort of connect people together when at least you get to share a meal together, talk about things on a more unstructured, informal opportunity. So we have taken a much more proactive effort on that. We did a really big team building event earlier this year in Denver. We've been working on getting all of our new joiners together in some location with people one-on-one somewhere around the country, mostly in New York. And to celebrate a lot of the success we had this year, we're going to be taking our entire team down to South Beach in January to celebrate the success and also take the opportunity to do training, team building, and get everyone to reconnect and unwind. So, I think the days of consulting, that sort of grind is coming to an end a little bit. When I was at Accenture, I was on the road Sunday night through Thursday night. I was working 80 hours a week and we were grinding away. That was just a consultant life. But nowadays, there's a much more competitive landscape for talent. People have more appreciation for work-life balance. That's sort of what drove me away from Accenture, and certainly something I have always been very concerned about and aware of and cognizant about when we look to build up our own client experience. I was on projects with a guy that was showing me pictures of his kid's Little League game every day. That was certainly not the experience I wanted anyone on our team to have, including myself. So all things that we're really thoughtful on culture. And I think cultures in consulting firms can really thrive.
I'm encouraged, Jonathan, right now, just because, you talked earlier about companies investing in the employee experience being a critical, trend and growing trend in the industry. And then just to hear some of the things y'all are doing at Lionpoint to take action on that, I think is awesome. I'll get you out of here on this one question. Obviously, Lionpoint's been super successful. Any other, big goals or a BHAG that you have either personally or professionally that you'd like to share with the audience to wrap up?
I've never been a big goals guy. I've always sort of set myself with a very easy goal, conquer it really quickly and set another one really quickly. When I think about Lionpoint, we have surpassed all of our expectations that I would have ever imagined. When we were 10 people, getting to 25 was my goal. When we were at 25, getting to 50 was my goal. Then getting to 100. And now we've got 240 people. And my goal has always been to just build a company that was comfortable, sustainable. I didn't want to set a goal to say, I need to get to X revenue, hire 100 people, and then everyone's got to break their backs and stress because we don't have the business to support that sort of structure. And so we've built a really great, sustainable business that is sort of, I don't want to say it's comfortable because, right, you're supposed to go out of your comfort zone, but I think we do that. But it's, we've never overextended ourselves to create unnecessary stress for a big goal. I've always had these visions of, if I got into Blackstone, I'll have made it. If we get into, this client, we would have made it. And we've sort of hit those goals. I think for me, my goal is really to do that for my team. I want to give my team the opportunity to hit their goals. As we've grown the company, when we were smaller, people were like, what's my career path? We've only had like 10 people here. How many people, am I going to be able to get to manage 3? And I was like, I don't know. Now we've got these blue chip companies. We've got tons of sales opportunities. We have a lot of employees, and we're also expanding our partnerships with new technologies. So whether you want to focus on sales, you want to focus on building up your technology expertise and learn more technologies. If you love to mentor, train, coach people, I want to be able to give people the opportunity to think about their goals and put them in a position to succeed. Because I think that, the boutique firm that I went to, they gave me that opportunity. That's kind of why I left the big 4 consulting firms, because, you were just like, there was a very hierarchical nature. There was a partner, or a senior manager, a consultant, a senior, and that hierarchy was real. Within Lionpoint, it's much more flat, and we try to create the least amount of layers that are required. And so I guess my goal would be to push that down and help all of the team members within Lionpoint to realize their goals. And that's all I need right now.
Wow. Love that. Hey, this has been an absolute blast, Jonathan. Thanks so much for being a part of this show. If our audience wants to look you up, where's the best place to find you?
LinkedIn, Jonathan M. Balkin, because there's a few of us. Google Balkin Twins to find my crazy kids video. And yeah, I really look forward to meeting and connecting with everyone in the ecosystem. We're always around at the Anaplan conferences and other industry events. Really thank you for the opportunity to speak on this show. You guys are doing something really cool. The fact that you're able to take a topic like EPM and add a really cool spin and excitement to it is really, really awesome. Thank you.
It means a lot. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Wherever you're consuming this, if it's YouTube, if it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we appreciate you. Make sure you're subscribed. We have a lot more amazing guests on the way, a lot more great content. We're doing our best to bring you value and have fun while we do it. And we really want this to be a career advantage listening to this show, and we want you to enjoy it. So it means a lot. Make sure you're subscribed for what's to come. And also, if you're up for it, it would mean a lot if you leave us a like, a comment, a rating, a review, whatever platform you're on. That really helps, and it gets us fired up when we see those. So I appreciate you guys. Find us on LinkedIn. I'm Blake Bozarth. My co-host, Chad Pike with a Y. Would love to connect with you there. Have an awesome day. See you next time. Peace.